Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my podcast. So we are going to be checking out the fan club's video on Once and Always having a low budget TV special. And that doesn't make it bad because Hasbro is treating the cast way better than Saban. And it's obviously true because when you look at the original run from the 90s, you can tell there were some big issues behind the scenes when it comes to the casting and money disputes, which is why certain cast members left the show because of how Saban treated them. Because here's the thing, when you're on a TV show in any industry, these corporate suit and tie freaks, I call them, instead of, appreciating your vision of how you want your characters to be, they just automatically shut that down in favor of certain things in other different projects because it's basically an FU to your face. The same way they did Jez David Frank about this Green Ranger project that he has going on, which turned into Legend of the White Dragon. It wasn't Hasbro, it was the people that, the suit and tie, the corporate people that were involved in it. They did him completely dirty. So, in which case, I think Once and Always is going to be an amazing special. I mean, it's pretty much like a film, but a TV special, but it's pretty much like a fan film, but done right. You know what I'm saying? So, back then, they were treated terrible. They were paid poorly. And it's pretty obvious to me that Hasbro is doing Power Rangers just right in terms of content goes. So shout out to the fan club. So let's get to it.
93 Power Rangers has been balling on a budget, and Once and Always is balling on a budget. This isn't some giant budget project where they're funneling in millions of dollars to blow this thing up and make. I still think it's going to be great, but they are taking a small gamble, in the words of Johnny Young Bosch. He said that this weekend at the C2E2 Power Rangers panel, and he did say that they're taking a small risk, but I believe it's going to pay off. The trailer has 4.5 million views on it, guys.
Exactly.
That's pretty big. If
exactly.
you can generate half of that, 2 million viewers in the first week, that's pretty good, right? I do think that they are treating the former actors a lot better, hence why they got a bunch to come back for an actual special. We're going to talk about this, break it down, hit that intro.
I mean, what he's saying is actually true. I just wish people on Twitter could just understand that, but they refuse to, get it.
Since the beginning, Power Rangers has been a cheaper franchise and project overall, right? We are using clips from a show that is already made, so that saves you money. Most of the time, at least back in the day, they were using super young, inexperienced actors, meaning that they were being paid very little, and the show just had a cheaper vibe, but it was still so much fun and one of my favorite shows of all time. I loved this show. But with Once and Always, I think a lot of the fans are expecting this max.
I've been noticing that in the past when I was watching reactions on YouTube of this Once and Always trailer. They always expected something to be higher budget, like blockbuster feel. Like, this is not a big budget movie or TV show. Like, this isn't like some big Hollywood, propaganda special that everyone was expecting, especially with the CGI and the effects in the trailer. Like, it was done the same way they did with other Power Rangers seasons, but turn it into a TV film. Like, a lot of people were expecting it to be this big budget franchise. Like, it could get there. It could get there. But my problems with those content creators is that they was saying that Trini was killed off and this special was distasteful and was disrespectful to her actress and all that bull crap. And not to mention, I got someone on YouTube saying that the trailer was not it. And I'm just sitting there just like, you know what? If they keep hating on this stuff, I'm going to expose them on Twitter. literally. So that's exactly what I've been doing ever since the trailer came out. You already got people hating on it because they were expecting it to be like a Blue Beetle or Marvel or DC. Like, this is Power Rangers. Like, you ain't finna get that until we actually get there to that point. Like, it's coming. It's coming. And there are so many people who didn't really watch the entire Mighty Morphin seasons from season 1 to 3. And they're basically just stuck on season 1 that they grew up with. Jason, Kimberly, and Tommy. I was arguing with some idiot on Facebook the other day saying that how I just wish that Amy Jo Johnson was there. And I literally had to explain to him that she had her own personal reasons to not be there. And people refuse to understand that. Like, look, if y'all can't understand why these actors made the decisions, then you're the problem. You need to grow up and do some actual research on Austin St. John, who cannot leave the States because of legal issues. Jason David Frank quit the Power Rangers because he was working on some other projects because of some personal issues with Hasbro or Saban now. And Amy Jo Johnson did not want to come back to the series, like I've said multiple freaking times. These people on the internet go behind the keyboard and just rant without even understanding and do proper research on why this came to be. So they had to get Steve Cardenas and Catherine Sutherland, those who were available for the anniversary special. Because let me explain something to you. In season 2, Jason and Zach and Trini left for Peace Conference, so they trade their powers to Rocky and Aisha. So therefore, Jason's, Zach's, and Trini's power coins weren't destroyed. Y'all really need to do some actual research on these things before judging and complaining. It's just that simple.
I believe that this is a 55-minute episode of Power Rangers with today's tech. Even though this special is going to look amazing, it's going to be fun. I really like the way that they are going with this. I don't think it's going to look like the new Avatar movie or the new Star Wars movie.
Exactly.
Right? I think that this project is for the fans and targeted at some of the older fans.
Just let the fans be happy for once.
In a while, trying to get you guys to check this out, and if you guys like this, they will be able to give you a part 2 and possibly throw some more money into it. You guys remember back in 1995 when we got the Power Rangers movie? They knew Power Rangers was going to sell no matter if that movie was good or bad, and the movie actually turned out pretty good, but I just remember for the 90s, it was top notch. They were spending a lot of money on the action sequences. I know those CGI scenes look horrible.
They did.
CGI in 1995 was very expensive. They were doing a bunch of stuff on that movie because they had a big budget, right? This is the opposite of that. Netflix almost sees this as a risk in the sense of, yes, we're going to throw some money at you and get this on the platform, but at the same time, they don't know if it's going to hit or not. The fans got to get behind this, and I'm hoping that...
It's because those who are real fans of Power Rangers that grew up with Mighty Morphin, they're going to appreciate it, and they're going to get a sequel. They're going to get those numbers up. It's going to get #1 on trending on Netflix. Much like how Dawn of Fury season 2 and season 1 was. Imagine Mighty Morphin Once and Always being the exact same thing. It's going to get to that level if people could just somehow get their butts and their brains out of their nostalgia goggles and just try to support this one way or another.
Hasbro keeps up the promotion for Once and Always. What are we, like 12 days away? It is going down. And that brings me to my next point. I believe that the actors are not only getting paid more, but they are also being treated like human beings.
Exactly.
The homies at Legacy of Nerd did an interview with Karen Ashley not too long ago, and she talked about how her first offer, she got an offer for like a smaller part and a smaller amount of money, and she's like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. And then they called her back and said, hey, we really want you to come. You're gonna get paid the same as everybody else. And I don't even think that they have a full role compared to like Kat and
Well, shout out to Hasbro for actually having the courage to ask Carrie and Ashley to come out and just film this one small little scene for this anniversary special, and then you're to get paid way more as the actors. That's dope. That's dope. Thank God Saban ain't running this crap anymore, because when he was running it, I bet all of those actors had issues on the show with the scripts and how the lack of unmoored fight scenes, talking while fighting, and the music being ripped off from Mighty Morphin, but being done on a terrible level, and not to mention being paid less. So with Hasbro doing this, bringing back the OGs and paying them more money for this anniversary, you couldn't ask for a better company.
it makes it seem in the trailer. It's not all like inside knowledge. In that whole trailer, we see all the other Rangers, but then you only see Adam and Aisha on a screen for like 3 seconds. So maybe they do have a smaller role, but they were able to pay them what they wanted to get them down there. That is a sign. Also, when I was looking up some of the Ranger actors recently, there are a few that are actually part of the union, which is huge because for years Power Rangers would never hire union actors
at all.
It's just a no-no because they had agreements and things that needed to be met, right? If you sign someone that's part of the union, they actually have some say into their contract and they'll put some stipulations and stuff like that. Saban, for a very long time, was always looking for non-union actors to kind of exploit in a way. And I get both sides of the coin, but over time, I always believe if you're part of something and it is a #1 hit, yeah, you should take care of your people, right? That's just kind of a no-brainer. If you're making $1 billion off of Power Rangers, at one point Saban was, maybe he should have paid some of those guys and maybe had a little bit better of a camaraderie and a crew, because for years we heard about how crazy Power Rangers was and how there was a lot of turbulence on a lot of seasons because of how they were paid and stuff like that. I think Hasbro is treating these actors better, at least what it seems from the surface. There are always things that you hear, you know, a few years later, but I believe that Haim Saban was the center of a lot of problems with Power Rangers towards the end of the Neo Saban era.
He was pretty much a problem of the entire franchise as a whole. Because, like I said, back in 93 and 94, when the show was just as popular peak at the time, Saban had paid these actors very poorly. And also St. John said it at one point that he can barely make a few dollars on set while working at McDonald's. And so I would bet you since he came back as the Gold Ranger, he was probably paid even worse. Because if you just bringing back these actors for nothing, then why even do a show in the first place if you're not going to pay these people amount of money? Especially when there are good actors in Power Rangers. But the last time I checked, Amy Jo Johnson was paid more than all the other actors. I mean, she was a great actress on Power Rangers. And at the same time, they were still paid poorly. And it's just rough. So, within the Neo Saban era, it's safe to say that Saban, for whatever reason, is a huge Sentai fanboy, refuses to be more creative and be more original instead of relying on power, relying on Mighty Morphin. And that's why you got Cosmic Fury coming out this year, because they're going all original with the new Morphin sequence, a new theme song, no more Go-Go Power Rangers lyrics in it, which is a big plus. and the W for Hasbro and Simon Bennett and them. So shout outs to them. But at the end of the day, it's Hasbro's franchise now. They're gonna come back to film any kind of special for Power Rangers from different seasons, and they're gonna make it 10 times better than the original run. Mark my words.
A lot of actors and actresses were fed up. I'm not saying that Hasbro is much better, but for when I heard anyways that it was never about the money with a lot of people because they had more money than Saban. Got to remember, Hasbro is a way bigger company.
They are.
They're able to cut some checks and it not affect them comparable to Saban, because all Saban had was the damn Power Rangers and some other brands, but really Power Rangers was number one. With Hasbro, this is not the number one brand, and that's something that I do like about it. There are some cons to it because it's not the number one brand. It doesn't always get the most attention compared to Transformers or G.I. Joe or like My Little Pony or something like that. But at the same time, we're not forcing Power Rangers to be the number one option every year and it fail, and then there goes our company and we have to sell it, right? Power Rangers is more stable than it's ever been on the market. I can promise you that. From a business standpoint, it's a lot more stable than it was with Neo Saban. They had to chuck out all those toys, and so many Power Ranger toys ended up in the clearance rack under Neo Saban era. Hasbro, I barely ever see any toys in the clearance. I know lately we have seen those Blue Centaurians and in space things, but besides that, anytime I look at the clearance, mostly I never see Power Rangers, but if I do, it will be like a pink or a yellow. But it's been a minute, man, because fans like to buy those up. But back to the original point, this isn't going to be $100 million blockbuster project, but I believe with these producers, with this cast, the writers, they're going to put something together special for the fans. And I just kind of wanted to make a video and talk about it because Power Rangers never had a big budget. I've saw some reviews saying, oh, this looks like it's straight out of the 90s.
And that's the thing that really bugs me about these reaction channels on YouTube. I don't know what these people were expecting out of this once and always special. Like, they always think that, oh, this looks stupid, this looks cheap, this looks dumb, and it's not what I expected. I expected it to be a big, like a bigger budget TV show or a movie just because they're on Netflix. They all assume that once and always, since it's on Netflix now, Netflix is using all of its bigger money. Even though it's a low budget, this could end up turning out good. But the problem is, for everybody who was expecting it to be like the MCU's Disney Plus, Falcon, She-Hulk level TV show with the new CGI and all of that, y'all gotta chill, bruh. Like, every time I see stuff like this on YouTube, I've been exposing people left and right. Fake fans, people that don't know nothing about Power Rangers. Like, some of them do. Some of them do. But the problem is they're too busy focusing on the season one aspects of Power Rangers that those who remember it. Yes, I understand it, but at the same time, if you watched all 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, you will know that new characters appear in the Mighty Morphin franchise. So they're considered old school. Like Kat, like Rocky, Adam, and Aisha. Yes, Billy and Zach, Davy Yost, and Walter Jones are the real OGs from the first season. But the newer Rangers are also OGs as well. They're also from the 90s, 93 to 95.
Production or budget into it. And you know what? They did what they could. That doesn't make or break a show.
Exactly.
Is it good? If it's good, go support it.
Right.
And if you go support it, maybe we could get a part 2 with a bigger budget. Maybe they could give us an actual 10-episode little series like Johnny Young Bosch was talking about over this weekend. He did say that the characters are not written off. We know that through another panel with Jason Fawn a few months ago that the sets are still up. If they do a good job, they can come back. And if they do a good job, they're going
I hope
to
they
have
do.
more of a budget. It's just the way it goes, man. But what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Man, shout out to the fan club once again, and I'm gonna end this video off. So my advice to everybody who is still not understanding and refuses to do research on how this anniversary special came to be: when you see something on Twitter and social media, go look it up. Before commenting and saying anything, look it up, research it, and then you reply. It's not that hard to do. Instead of you commenting, oh, my favorite actors and Rangers are not in it, I'm not gonna watch. Not for me. Nope. No Jason, not gonna watch. No Kimberly, not gonna watch. No Tommy, I'm not gonna watch. No Trini, not gonna watch. Adam, Aisha, Rocky, Cat, screw off. Like, that is exactly majority of this toxic fan base can be. Let people enjoy what is given to us. Let us enjoy this anniversary special. This is 30 years in the making. This is Power Rangers we're talking about. Please let us be happy. Let the fans be happy instead of you criticizing and judging, something that we're all excited for. Cosmic Fury and Once and Always. At the end of the day, this is for us. Us who grew up with this series. Everybody is excited about it. I'm excited about it as well. But please, leave all that toxic energy somewhere else. We don't need it here. So, if y'all want the original video, down below, I'm gonna holler at you.